Greetings, YouTube. The other day I found myself poking on YouTube for some answer to some random question. And one of the first results that came up was from a site known as Quora. And I followed the link to Quora, and there was some follow-up information. And when I clicked on the follow-up information, it asked me to sign in through my Gmail account. Now, my Gmail account is not me, so I wasn't too concerned about that. So I go to sign in, and it won't, and I can't get in properly. I don't quite want to know why, but I gave up. I walked away. And a few minutes later, I got an email in my Gmail account telling me that the reason I couldn't get into Quora is that Quora requires an actual name to be used, and my Gmail account name is not an actual person's name. That's intentional. And they said it was for authenticity reasons because they want to foster the idea of legitimate comments. And they feel that if people present themselves with a real name, they're going to post legitimate comments. Even though I could call myself, for example, Javier Smith, and that would be a real name, it wouldn't be me. So the whole concept that using a real name is going to somehow foster authenticity and serious and legitimate commentary is a bit absurd. But what it does do for the people that aren't smart enough to use Javier Smith or something of the equivalent thereof is it puts people at risk. Because if you put your actual name in there, you are now subject to anyone that would like to harass you if they can find you on the internet. And let's be serious, if your name is unique at all, it won't be hard to find you on the internet. I mean, unless your name is actually John Smith, it's not difficult to find you, particularly if they know your general geographic location or your occupation or your hobbies or something. And if you're on the internet long enough, that information is out there. Particularly if you have like a Facebook or something like that, which is just rife with violations of your answers to security questions. All someone has to do pretty much is go through your Facebook account and they can find the answer to almost every security question, which is why when I have to use those stupid security questions, I make them up and record them down so that the security questions are answered with things that have nothing to do with me, because I think those kinds of things are absurd. Just use a friggin' password of like 13 plus characters, combining letters, numbers, and symbols, and you are good. You don't, if you're using a 15 character, my YouTube, my Gmail login is 15 freaking characters. If you use that, you're going to be safe. But I despise the idea that somehow using legitimate names makes things more likely to get real commentary from people and not trolls. And in reality, all it does is endanger those who are not wary enough to use a false name. I've seen that before, and I've never understood it. And I can guarantee you the people that come up with these ideas are straight white dudes, cisgender straight white dudes, people that don't get harassed for the most part online, unless they dare support a position that is held by someone that isn't a straight white cis dude. Then they're going to get harassment. And as I have in the past, because I've stood up for both feminist positions and the rights of minority groups, that'll get you hate comments. That'll get you death threats. That'll get you threats of being raped online. And I've had all of these. There's a file I have of YouTube accounts, which I keep an eye on because these people are dangerous. So using real names is not a method of making things more legitimate. It's just a method of endangering people's lives, particularly those in marginalized communities and women who get harassed far more than men do. So, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have rules like that. Maybe people should be able to present themselves in any way they want to. Their safety should be just as important as the friggin' comments on your site. Because human safety is darn sight more important than whether somebody's lying about something that they say on the Quora site.